How's it going, everybody? My name is Berlin. Welcome back to BerlinCraft. Last time you saw me, it was 1.8. It's been a couple weeks. Now it's 1.9. So, what do you say we go exploring, adventuring, find out some new stuff? Or we can come down here and explore the lore of the Mushroom Island. So, today, we're finally starting the lore of the village. It's been a very, very long time. Very, very long time. In fact, I haven't said anything about the lore. So, today, after a very, very long time of waiting, today we're going to be working on the lore of the village. More specifically, today is just the power crystal part of the lore. So this part of the video was a little bit of a over-record because I messed up on a lot of stuff while reading, and I wanted to make this reading perfect. So, from Nicholas Yelovich for the lore of the Mooshroom Island, he gave a very good idea which we're going to build off of. And we're going to take bits and bobs to use and bits of bobs not to use, but I'll let you decide which let you figure out which we're not going to use and what we are. So, Nicholas Yelovich says, okay, I have an idea. The village used to be inhabited by native humans and was originally a giant shrine to the mushroom god. They had giant mushrooms, little mushrooms, mushroom farm, mushroom parks, and of course mushroom cows. But one day, when the chief of the village was stepping down to give the position to his son, little did the chief and other villagers know that the chief's son secretly despised mushrooms. He hated the taste, the texture, the look, the smell, everything. But when the day came that the chief's son was crowned the new chief, he immediately took action. He tore down the mushroom shrine and began converting everything into a shrine to the potato god. The mushroom god felt betrayed and he was angered. He immediately commanded the mushroom cows to stop the new crazed chief at once. The mushroom cows fought hard against the chief's guard, but after 3 days and 2 nights of battle, the mushroom cows drove the chief and his people away. From that moment onward, the mushroom god never trusted a man to care for his island again. He gave the responsibility of caring for the shrine to the cows and only trusted them. Eventually, the cows evolved and reconverted the shrine back to the mushroom island. They now inhabit the island, praise the mushroom god, and care for the shrine themselves. So that explains the base of the lore. That's a whole bunch of lore to take in, and we're going to use so much of that. We're going to use quite a bit of that. There's some pieces I'm personally going to leave out because it's a little bit of a thing that I feel like could be left out and we could add more into its place. Now, the power crystal lore. What I am thinking for the power crystal lore, and you may come up with your own lore, and I may take that into consideration. So, listen along, and if you find something you want to change, go ahead and comment that down below. But this is the power crystal lore. So, when the chief's son took over the throne, he wanted to reign the island. He wanted to get rid of all of the mushrooms, and he succeeded. But, after a while, the power of the mushroom people and everything mushroom that was there slowly converted the island back into mushrooms. And everything mushrooms and mushrooms. And he could not keep the potato power in hold. So he tried to get the power of a scientist. And he recruited a scientist from a very, very far away land to come to the island. And that is when the scientist came over and was given full right to the town hall. He went to work immediately and went underground. He was not seen for months and months. Sooner or later, the mushroom people bursted in to the floorboards, only to drop down into a very squishy block and find a giant power crystal. This explains the recent renovations that the island has seen over the past year that involved a lighthouse that didn't seem to have any lines or anything attached to it, along with the streetlights that they did not previously have, with also no lines or any means of things underground that looked like it was being powered. So this giant crystal was something that they've never seen before, and it was powering everything with a wireless technology, but there was also little humps in the ground. It was sucking something out of the ground that looked to be black and white, and this is what is powering the island. But that was not what the mushroom people came down to find. They needed to find the scientist, so they looked and looked around in his lair, but they could not find him, so they went up for the king. The king had to know where the scientist was, but when they went up, they realized they hadn't seen the king in some months either. So they had magically disappeared, but the mushroom people knew what was up. They figured out that the chief's son and the scientist had run off together to form a whole new base of operations to slowly diverge a plan to bring the island back to the potato god. But why are they doing this? Where did they run off to? My thing is, I believe they ran off into a sea temple, the sea guardian temple. The guardian is still there. They reasoned with the guardian. Maybe they're going to plan to bring the guardian into a war with the people, but that is what they are doing. They got the Mooshroom Island powered up and primed, but they also ran back to grab the guardians or make a base without waging war on the Mushroom Island with the guardians. They just needed a place, and the hidden guardian temple was a great place that they cleared out for themselves. So that's it. That's what I think is going to happen. Again, I'm open to changes, and everything that is suggested to me I will always take into consideration. But for now, I feel like this is a good idea. But again, my ideas change a lot, so what I'm saying now might change a little bit in the future, so take this all with a grain of salt and suggest your own stuff. Anyway, I'm going to speed up the rest of the clip, or cut it, and I will see you back actually in-game. So, now we have a little bit of a helixing going on. I set this up just now between little takes, and now I have a couple questions. I have a question for you guys. This gem, this big power gem, what color or what should be on the inside of the gem? I feel like it's a bit empty. Something should be inside it. What should be inside this very, very big gem? What do you think should be in there? What do you think should make this gem glow? Like, what should be in there? What needs to be in there? I was thinking prismarine. We need a whole lot of prismarine for that stuff. We need all the lights and stuff, which is a lot of prismarine. I was thinking lava, but lava didn't look so good. I was thinking water, but I'm not so sure about water. And yeah, so what do you guys think about like what should be in this area? Like, what do you think should be in there? Now let's go back down and let's add a couple in spots like I think that maybe need some. So what are these black dots that I'm doing here? These are pretty simple. It's pretty simple to explain actually. It's these are supposed to be sort of a element, sort of pulling out of the ground. Like the crystal is pulling something out of the ground. It is bringing stuff out of the earth into its power rotation thing. I would name it like a power rotation, making sure it gets enough power, and this is just some way for it to sort of do what it needs to do. It sucks power, so it is currently sucking power out of the ground, which is black and white. So sort of like a yin-yang thing. I was thinking coal and iron, like that's what powers it. It's pulling out of the ground, like maybe right on the bottom there it would have like a coal mound or an iron mound, and it's pulling out of there. So I already explained what the lore is of the crystal, but I am open to suggestions. Like, what do you think the crystal should be? Like, what do you think should happen with the crystal? Why do you think it's here? You know, sort of little lore suggestions like that. Like, what do you guys think the lore should be for the crystal? Is my lore good enough? Do you guys like my lore? I feel like my lore is good. It needs a tiny little bit of work, but other than that, I think it's pretty good. I think that the whole idea of the sun going mad and bringing the scientist in to sort of change the island, he needed a whole bunch of power, and after the island's changed, that's where all of the wireless power comes from. That is why the lighthouse has power. That is why street lamps will soon have power. That is why things have power in this world. That is why you see the lighthouse going on without anything attached to it. That is why you see street lamps going on without any visible power lines, because soon enough in this episode we will be doing giant cones out of the wall, sort of with both elements leading out. Both elements of the little panes here leading out of the cones, which means these little things, these little elements here, are the power that it is sending out. Like it is the power that is drawing from the world, but it is also sending out tiny little bits of power out when it siphons power. And I cannot do any jumps today. Oops. It is siphoning power and sending it out with little tiny bits. Nothing too much. Nothing too much of these. When we do the cones, you will see that I will throw in just one or two of these. That is because it is not a clean power converting gem. It is still adding a little bit of pollution, so it is technically adding pollution of iron and coal, or whatever these two elements are, into the world, which could be a good thing in time or a very, very bad thing. I sort of want to say bad thing because I feel like it'd be a decent story that this scientist with a giant power crystal does not have a clean burning source of energy, or a clean source of energy at all, and it is sending tiny bits of dangerous materials out into the world. It might pollute the Mooshroom Island one day. It might end up making the Mooshroom Island a proper green land of mass. You know, it might end up breaking the island in half. It is all a story that is willing to be told if there are suggestions or someone thinks of it. I'm always open to suggestions, and I want to know what you guys think of this whole power gem thing. Where do you think it could lead? Because I think it is a very interesting concept. You know, the son, he wanted his dad out of the throne. He got his dad out of the throne, and then he took over the island. He removed everything. Sadly, he could not remove the purple grass. The purple grass, for some reason, is still here. So he's confused. Wait, why is that? Oh, those are latched together. Actually, that makes a cool effect. So he couldn't get rid of the purple grass yet. Him and the scientists are working on it, but they're nowhere to be seen. This is a thriving island. There will be mushrooms, and there will be a little bit of villagers, you know, people that have yet to be, you know, fully converted into these mushroom sort of monstrosities. Well, not monstrosities, but, you know, people. There will be people. There will be villagers. But these people haven't seen their king in a while. They haven't seen the scientist. The scientist used to come up out of the ground and come and get supplies from the people. You know, he was a sort of nice guy, other than ruining the island. And I want to know, what do you think this could lead to? They left. They are gone. No one has seen them in a good year or two. So what could this lead to? This could lead to people wondering where they are. Or maybe someone goes off and finds this place off the island, and they're in there. They're doing stuff, you know, maybe converting a sea temple into the works, and they are working on getting everything together. They are working on the plot to change the island into something that the king's son will love, a normal island where he's always wanted to live, or a transformed island where he has no longer need to see mushrooms. He doesn't need to see anything. So, I'll be right back. I'm going to grab some coal and iron. I'm going to make little mounds underneath here. I'll be right back, because that is decoration. We need some decoration, and we also need light. Light's not going to happen right now, but I'll work. I'll see what I can do. Maybe I'll grab some glowstone and plop it on the little things for now. But, for now, I'll be right back. 1 second. Looks like a silly version of parkour, doesn't it? Looks like a parkour map, like, oh yeah, go up the black side for challenge, go up the white side for an easy time. Yeah, looks like a little silly parkour challenge. You can actually probably do this as a parkour challenge. Just change a couple things so it's more evenly spaced, and there you go, parkour map. There you go, right there. Ooh. Download the map now for parkour challenges in a survival world. Okay, so wanted to add just a little bit. Oh, there's already iron here. Well, I wanted to add like a lump of coal right here, like going down into the world, and then sort of work off that energy and see what we can do with it, because it's still an interesting idea. I like it. So I want to add coal just everywhere. And now I didn't pick up a whole bunch of coal because, you know, I'm silly and didn't actually think of it, but you know, I'll grab coal, and you can also get a very, very nice feel of what I'm trying to go for here. Oh, look at that. We actually finished it. See, it's pulling out. It's like a giant coal deposit. And it is pulling, and it's grabbing out of the world, and it might be cracking the world or you know, hurting the world, but for right now, it is pulling, and it is providing power for the mushroom people. And that's what it's doing. That is its job, and that is solely what this is doing, and that is it. But, you know, for now, it is pulling everything out, it is siphoning, and it is doing a good job at what it needs to do to provide power to the world. And we should change this into this. There we go. Yeah. So see, it has the deposit there and the deposit there, and it is pulling out of the world. It is pulling the deposit into its power crystal. We'll get a good look at this. The two at the bottom. And now excuse the glowstone. The glowstone's not part of the final look, but get a look at that. Just get a nice look at that. Spiral up into the they cross paths twice, and spiral up and they cross paths twice. That is all its power. So that brings up the question: what should be inside the crystal? What do you think in Minecraft looks like it could be a iron and coal mix? Like maybe the bottom half is filled with a black substance, which would be coal blocks, and the top is an iron white, which is just iron. So it's like a yin-yang inside the crystal sort of thing. What do you think should be inside the crystal? Now, I'll be right back once again. Well, I sort of prepare, actually, So, you know what? That's it for this episode of BerlinCraft. We ran out of time, and I asked a lot of questions in this episode about the crystal. What do you think should be in it? Like a whole bunch of other stuff. I want to get the audience engaged in what they think. A lot of the questions I could sort of be like, okay, yeah, this could fit in there, but I want the audience engaged in what they're watching and in the lore of the lore of the place they're helping create. So what do you think? Anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video, which will not be a month away or a week away. I promise. Anyway, see you in the next video. My name's Berlin. Remember, stay fancy. Peace out. Bye-bye.